If crunk is what's in, I'll do crunk. You know what I'm saying? If students respond to that type of stuff, then I'll do it. I'll put my own message to it. And
well, LionVoice, tell them that's the people first choice. LionVoice, make the lioness them feel nice. LionVoice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. LionVoice, got to show the people them the life. LionVoice.
Alright, greetings! In that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, glory and honor, in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Zero Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and today I am here as the host of the LionVoice vlog. This is a very special episode today because I have here before me, and I'm at the studio of one of my brethren and business partners. Those who have been following me for a while may remember the Mix and Master radio podcast. We did a whole season. We're going to get in depth about this brother here. We're going to learn about how he's surviving, how he's thriving, and get used to this brother on this channel because this is just the beginning. We're just scratching the surface here, but we're at the studio of Bomani Armah. Bless up, Bomani.
Bless. How are you doing, brother?
It's a blessing.
It's great to be here. It's good to have you here in my studio. It's good to be here.
And for those who want to know, the intro to the LionVoice vlog, that beat was made right here.
Yes.
It was voiced right here in this studio. So this brother, production, rapper, executive producer, you're one of the most creative people I know.
I appreciate that.
Planet. You know, when I think of a true definition of a creative, you're one of the brothers that really come to my mind. How did you start in the creative industry?
Well, thank you for that compliment. And I definitely, I think I told you the other day, like, I love that we collaborate, that we're business partners. You up my street credibility. You know what I'm saying? When I need an example of people really doing Pan-African work and bringing the people together and having a plan for the future, I'm like, oh, y'all need to be Kwasi. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, it ups my credibility. So I mean, I don't ever remember a time when I wasn't creative. I come from a family that was heavily into church and the church music, and so I was always a part of that when I was younger. Like a lot of kids growing up in PG County who was into the band and church music. I played go-go music a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
I was always doing like a speech competition, or I was doing, I was acting in like after school special type TV shows and stuff like that. So I've always been doing something with my voice and being in front of an audience. And I knew I always wanted to do that like full time. And so evolved from that to being a spoken word artist / drummer in my college days, having some success doing some stuff on U Street for a while with the band, and then Read a Book Happening, which was a phenomenon, all in itself. And then just me trying to figure out how to be a grown man who is fulfilled with his everyday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm a talented person who was raised and nurtured by a very loving community, and I could have done a whole bunch of things to make money and to survive in the American system, but I don't know how many things I could have done and been happy with myself all the time. And I've been fortunate that since I'm such a natural creative, and I've been in a space where being a creative and being an educator is valued. Maryland, especially the state of Maryland, values that big time. And so I've been fortunate, and you know, I'm living the dream right now. I'm in my studio, you know what I'm saying, speaking to a fellow Pan-Africanist about, you know, our plans to get back to Africa and what we're going to do for our people. So I can't complain.
And you enunciate your words very well. So you said you used to do speeches. I'm connecting the dots in my mind now. Because, you know, of all of the rappers I know, you're one of the most, in terms of your enunciation.
Right.
You know, every word is very properly enunciated. how important is vocabulary? And you're an educator, obviously. So how
Right.
important is that as an MC? Because I consider you an MC.
Right.
And for those who, for my lexicon, MCs they write their own rhymes.
Right.
They, they're microphone controllers, masters of ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
In the truest sense, meaning you give them a mic, they're going to be able to bring mastery
Right.
to a room. An MC is not comfortable with necessarily rapping somebody else's words.
Right,
Take
right,
it very
right.
personal.
Right, exactly. Like you might do a cover, but you're very obviously doing a cover. You're not, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And MCs have that about them, where their pen,
Exactly.
they take it very serious, and you're one of those. How important is that?
I feel like, and one of the things, maybe my articulation is also why I'm not afraid sometimes of people stealing my stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how authentic other people could sound
Exactly.
rapping what I would rap, right?
Exactly.
But I know for a fact that my articulation was a weak point at some point.
Okay.
I have this weird thing where I don't talk like I grew up in Prince George's County.
Yes.
I have this even weirder thing where I feel like if I wanted to talk like I was from Prince George's County, I'm completely capable of doing that. But it would take effort, and it would be sort of inauthentic.
You don't say sir then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if I'm talking to people, I can slide into it effortlessly.
Yeah.
But I feel like at one point as a rapper, I kind of felt some pressure to be like, not felt pressure. People said to me, you know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, like people, like I joke around all the time. I need to walk around with a set of congas because people don't think I'm from here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know what I'm saying? Once I hit a socket beat, they're like, "Oh, nah, you're from here."
Yeah,
But then trying to understand it myself, like I do know that no one understood where my father was from.
Where's he from?
My father's from a 2-street town in South Carolina. Fort Lawn, South Carolina. Everybody thought he was like he has my father because he went to school to be a theater major. He was very diction and speech contests were his thing growing up, and so he had the Northeast news anchor thing down, and he literally slipped into whatever accent he was in.
Okay.
When we go down to visit grandma, it was nothing. When we talk to the white people, it's nothing. When we talking to the church people in DC, it's nothing. But if he's just doing his regular, because he trained so much to Northeastern news anchor, no accent, then I think that ended up just being, I'm imitating my father.
That makes so much sense.
And it took me a while to realize that, you know what I'm saying?
But you don't really have a regional dialect.
I
You have
don't.
kind of like a universal, you could just as easily be from Toronto. You could be from, anywhere. That's fascinating.
And I didn't understand it myself until I just, you need some space and time and understand, like, oh, now I'm talking like my dad. And my dad was very much that's what got him into Howard University.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Giving public speaking
Big up
speeches.
HU.
Yes, exactly.
Where did you go to undergrad?
I went to University of Maryland.
I want to just apologize for you having the HU experience. I want to just give my heartfelt.
So I need some kind of honorary, I'm HU family because I'm completely, my mom, my dad, my sister, my wife, my ex, my best friend, like I grew up at Howard University without ever going to Howard University.
And maybe that's why you didn't go there, because you were inundated by...
It's also, I joke about it, but it actually is very true. But coming from Largo High School, and there were 2 white people who graduated with me at Largo High School from a class of 300. And to tell you how black in PG County we were, we graduated, when we marched in, they played Pomp and Circumstance to a pocket beat.
Okay.
Alright? They would have done it to a socket beat, but it's a formal event. So you gotta kind of, you know what I'm saying? You gotta smooth it out.
What's the difference between a pocket and a socket?
So, sonically, the easiest way to explain it is a pocket is like boop, boop, doo doo doo, doo 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 doo. A socket beat's more like boom, ba, goo, ba, goo, ga, goo, ba. It's most distinctive, like that high conga gets hit every and that's when from the 80s into the 90s, the pocket to the socket was like from smooth to lively, right?
Okay.
But then it went from like socket to like, then you go to the roller type. Lively has gotten more and more and more and more lively. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so that's the easiest way to understand that. But yeah, so that's how that. So, but I tell people all the time, like I needed University of Maryland to remind me that I'm a minority.
Yes.
Because I could grow up in PG County and hang out at Howard University and hang out in 90s U Street and forget. And then my cousins explaining to me what life is like for them would make less sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
People have to understand the context. When I came to DC in 96 to attend Howard University, Georgia Avenue was one of the blackest places in America. I would go months without seeing a European face. You know, being on Howard campus, going back and forth. It's hard to realize that now with DC, gentrified DC, but you didn't see white people on that side of town at all.
At all.
PG County is the most affluent, dare I say, black place on the planet.
It just got passed.
By?
Guess by who?
Georgia?
Charles County.
Charles County?
Everybody who moved to Waldorf.
Okay. That's where
That
the money
just
is.
happened a month ago.
Oh, wow.
So black people moved from DC to PG County. And then when another shift happened, they're moving from PG County to Charles.
Charles County, okay.
And a little bit like it's
Is Brandywine that's down by Charles County?
it's headed that direction.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because even the weird thing about watching I had a great conversation with it's gonna bother me that I can't remember the Reverend's name, but he's talking about having a church in the Forestville, District Heights, Iverson Mall area, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we had this conversation. Gentrification has forced him and his congregation to deal with the suburbanization of poverty.
Yes.
It took me a minute to like sit with what he was talking about, right? But he was like, in the places where these people were gentrified out of, they had been, even though they were poor, they had learned how the city works.
Yes.
They lived in an area where they could walk to places, and they knew who the auntie was who did this and did that. And now they can't afford to live in these city blocks, and they live in the suburbs where you can't walk to a laundromat some places, where you can't walk to the, you know what I'm saying, the corner store isn't equipped like a corner store, because it's supposed to be a regular supermarket. You're supposed to be able to have a car to drive to. And so he's dealing with a whole bunch of, like, a community whose income hasn't changed, but they're just forced to live somewhere that income stresses even less.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's the Roman model, because in ancient times, the wealthy people lived within the city walls, the poor people were in the suburbs. So if you were attacked by a marauding army,
those are the ones who got hit.
Those are the ones who got hit. They were the peasant farmers, and they would come into the city during the day to sell their wares. But the wealthy, the apartments, that were protected. So we're moving back kind of to that ancient medieval Roman architectic system. Jeez. But that's inside baseball. What we want to talk about is read a book.
Got you.
This was a massive hit. There was an animated video. It went on BT. It went national. You were on TV. Did you think that you had made it? Were you planning to buy a Bentley?
No, I got exactly what I thought I was going to get out of it. I was able to buy diapers for 3 years, which is what I needed at the moment. Because of the kind of artist I always imagined myself being, and because all my favorite artists kept telling me how bad the music business was, because of the way I articulate myself, I didn't see myself, you know what I'm saying? And so I'll be honest with you, Read a Book was more success than I expected. Like, I expected to be able to make a living from being a hip-hop artist and a poet and a producer. I did not expect to have that moment to be able to walk on the stage of 106 Park. Wow. And so I was already like, oh, this is extra, you know what I'm saying? But it also
it's playing 106 in Park.
Yes,
Some of our audience
generation, right?
I think you went to the park.
Hilarious. So there used to be the number one show. It's weird now because we're far enough away from it. Where this is what was the guy like the show that Prince premiered on. I remember when we were younger and that was old school. Like there's no way we could or Soul Train. You know what I'm saying? So I'm explaining to the kids Soul Train. So what was brilliant about it was I make hip hop music with kids. That was my part-time job at Marcus Table. Me and my best friend Everett, we were downstairs chilling. You know Everett from the Rastafari community, and yes, great brethren. He was an assistant principal at a school at one point. He's an administrator at another point now. So we are on the exact same page. So we were downstairs just discussing, the state of hip hop and where it was. And his brother, the MC in my band, Marcus, had a couple days ago given me the formula to crunk. The formula, let's see if I can remember it correctly. The formula to crunk is you repeat yourself as often as possible. You resist the urge to rhyme. You curse as often as possible. And you give out simple directions, right? And so I was like, you can follow those directions without being like offensive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because Little John was like, I'm a beater, I'm a swell. I'm like you can follow that blueprint and still be like on a righteous path.
Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book, nigga, a fucking book, nigga. Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book, nigga, a fucking book, nigga. Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book, nigga, a fucking book. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your goddamn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your goddamn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your goddamn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your goddamn kids. Your body needs water, so drink that shit. 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 Buy some land, fuck spinning rims. Buy some land, fuck spinning rims. Buy some land, fuck spinning rims. Buy some land, fuck spinning rims.
Like, maybe other than the language for some people. So then the challenge became like, so what could you say? And we were just joking around with it. It was nothing like, we were going to record it, but we didn't think it was a thing. Until one day I said, READABO. Okay. Like when then we was like, whoa. Like, oh, no, this is like in the zeitgeist right now. This is the thing. So I tried to figure out what beat to use, and I was like, what cranks that I don't have to pay royalties on? And they're like Beethoven cranks. And we went to I made it, produced it, recorded it one day when my kids from Martha's Table all came to my studio on Kennedy Street, before Kennedy Street, like right when Kennedy Street was about to be regentrified. Recorded it, put it up on MySpace, and it was a blessing and a curse. I would not be here without that for multiple reasons. One, it did put my name out there, and it made me some money at the moment. But I think more importantly, it made me think I could do it. I don't think at the time I realized what a lightning in a bottle moment I had.
Yes. And like I said, you're comparing this to Sesame Street. You should compare this to A Bay Bay, and you should compare this to Pliers or somebody like that. Like you're getting the wrong. And I was really I want to watch. Am I gonna see those pieces that you just named? Am I gonna see those? If you're watching it, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon when my kids are coming home from school. Yes. Really? Oh, okay. Yes. All right. That's the. And where would I find these pieces? Are these online or is it? They literally. Oh, on BET again. Tony, they literally played A Bay Bay before they played that song. So I mean. And then I would have loved this. What you showed with the parents talking to each other about how television and music is affecting their children. Right. I love that. That was great. I'm jealous that I wasn't there.
So you did this. You did this purposely to get under people's skin, to start this. You are a provocateur. That's what you set out to do.
I didn't.
And Tyree, that's what you set out to do, because as a director, you control the imaging here. You set out to be purposely provocative so that we would be sitting on, see, we have given you exactly what you wanted.
But see, the thing is, I didn't think that the idea of reading and hygiene and all these things were controversial. My idea was to pick the most simplest ideas
wrapped in this packaging, this imagery,
Definitely.
with the big booty female black woman cartoon bouncing up and down.
Do you watch BET?
Yeah, I watch BET.
Okay, so you understand the context that we're working with. If your 11-year-old is watching Rap City, the fact that your 11-year-old is watching Rap City is a bigger problem than them seeing this video, because it's in context with
I'm just saying, if the kid, oh, come on. Is that really,
you can't understand satire outside of its context.
Well, I understand that satire needs to be funny.
No, it definitely is funny. That's why people are attacking the booty joke so hard.
Paul, jump in. Paul, jump in. Paul, jump in.
Tony, first thing, the point that you're absolutely right. Kids don't understand satire.
Oh, stop insulting my children,
BET,
please.
for example.
Kids understand satire.
What kids? What kids have you talked to? 11, 12-year-olds.
When I was raised on Mad Magazine. When I was 8 years old, I was reading Mad Magazine.
Paul, go ahead.
When I read Mad Magazine, that was parody and satire. I am now 30 years old, and I fully understand satire.
Tyree, I can turn the mic off. Let me get one at a time here. Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, see, the point that we're missing is the images for the kids. And BET will claim 18 to 34-year-old, but their most popular show, 106 in Park, is a bunch of teens from high school and lower than that.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And this
let me stop you. Let me stop you because I gotta go. I'm way long in the segment. I gotta go. Tyree, give me something quickly. Give me something quickly.
One video. This is a network.
I got you. Paul, Tyree, very quickly. Let me give you last word. Go ahead.
Last word is just look at it for what it is. If you expect some truth to it, that's fine. But at the same time, just realize it is a cartoon, but the problem is bigger than just the cartoon. Fix the problem.
Well, maybe this is part of the problem. Bomani, the last word, very quickly.
I'm excited. I was surprised that BET was willing to parody their bread and butter.
Okay.
And hopefully this is the beginning of something where we really have more parents get together like y'all did. I applaud you. Have parents get together and talk about what our children are watching.
Okay. Gentlemen, appreciate your time and way long in the segment. Gotta go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe,
well, no, here's the other thing I just had. And I had this moment as you sat down, and I'm nervous making this comparison. But as you talked about it, and as you talked about how Hollywood works, you made me think of Dave Chappelle. And Dave Chappelle having that moment, he was like, wait a minute, why? I'm telling the jokes, but what are they laughing at exactly? And I'm realizing that I was having that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like the record label meetings I was having was like, how do we duplicate this? And I'm like, I was okay with making, like, poking fun of the culture when it happened naturally, but I didn't want to make a career.
You didn't want to be that guy.
I didn't want to be that guy. And because people keep asking me for a new one, and I'm like, if one hits me and it's like undeniable, but like you see it on Instagram and YouTube, people just trying, like, and the whole thing. I now know in my new career, which is not even a different career, it's just the new iteration of my career, that, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, that people talk about wanting positive messages, but they don't really want positive messages. They want to be hype about you putting down the negative messages. I got more love for Read a Book poking fun of the fact that hip-hop is not taking its voice seriously than I do for taking my voice seriously. And I'm comfortable with that. I never expected to blow up. And so I had made it like, there are rappers that I know who I feel like, I hear them complain about the plight of conscious rappers and how we're not making money like Puffy and them, but I knew that at 19. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you have both your music and your spiritual walk. So there's a thing that when you decided to start it, you're like, this is not going to get me. Like, I might get a Bentley, but you know what I'm saying? So I've never had.
Longer road.
Yeah, it's a much longer road. So I think Read a Book, I was closer to quitting, and Read a Book inflated my confidence. Maybe beyond what it needed to be, but it inflated it enough where I didn't quit.
It let you know that this is possible.
Right.
You know, I can make a life out of this.
Right.
But you made an interesting turn. You didn't chase the fortune and the fame. For all the church goers, Satan taking Christ upon the mountain.
The temptations.
Showing them, all of this could be yours. So, you going to the record label and them saying, all we need you to do is make fun of your people and we will give you the world. And you said no, and you did something very, I think it's unique in terms of the merging of education and the creative industry. So you literally became a hip-hop star before the children in going into the school system.
That's what I wanted to do. Right. Even before I knew that's what I wanted, that's what I wanted.
Yeah, so
it's weird.
You had a captive audience. You identified, okay, these children need, there's an audience for educational raps, which, for lack of a better word.
Right.
And you kind of targeted them to the system. Talk about how you've been able to merge and what kind of stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what's weird is the people who know me from Read a Book, they think that Read a Book was a natural progression into that. And honestly, like in the last 2 years, the community that has embraced me as a hip hop educator is only now have I been like, hey, I did read a book. And they're like, oh wow. And I was like, yeah, if I introduce myself this way, this is a whole you gotta have a whole conversation about that, right? So like I didn't be like, hey, I'm the Read a Book guy. Come have me come talk to your first graders. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it worked at all. And so basically what it was is I was, whatever after school program or creative principal as in school principal, wanted to bring something into the school, I was hustling around trying to find those people in those situations. You know what I'm saying? Martha's Table, there's a couple schools I need to go back. I'm gonna write a biography about it, but just the organizations that basically helped keep me afloat. But at the time, it's nothing like what I was doing now because I spent the majority of my time finding the work and also not embracing that as like this is the thing that I do. Yeah. Like it was sort of something I did, but I didn't, I still was figuring out my path. I worked all these different side teaching artist gigs. And I was basically still doing my material from the club. Yeah. I was just always the guy rapping in the club doing positive raps. You know what I'm saying? And I might have to change a word or two for a fifth grader, but I was that dude in the club. So, So
you were being authentic.
I was being authentic, right?
I got this fire and venom deep in my capillaries. Makes me want to blaze a profane tirade on my adversaries. Knowing words don't carry the same weight that my action carries. Plus my father told me cursing shows a lack of vocabulary. So open the encyclopedia. I'm like an information capitalist, getting greedier and greedier. Curse words are like garnish, the truth is much media. But when I use foul language, I get attention in the media. But the language doesn't affect my flow. Having a sense of my words doesn't upset my show. Man, the kids in the audience know the way that I roll. I do the clean stuff with crystals and Omega go. Being G-rated doesn't make me soft. What's the point of all that cursing if the point is lost? I'm a poet, I use words to get my point across. Sometimes bull crap pisses me the freak off. So before it goes in and out the other ear, I think I'm gonna add a motherfucker right here. Cause even after all my logic and my theory, cause even after all my logic and my theory, yeah. Cause even after all my logic and my theory, I add a motherfucker so you ignorant niggas hear me.
So then I had a really good fortune, and this is why I like bragging about my career as a community project, is a friend of mine invited me on to a public access television show, and one of the guests was this lady named Pat Cruz from what the organization is now Arts for Learning Maryland. And she introduced me to that organization. And that organization works with teaching artists, and it helps them find teaching gigs. So it really works as a booking agent, but one of the ways it helps you become a booking agent is it helps you articulate what you do better to teachers. And as I got better, as they taught me how to articulate what I do to teachers, I realized what I could do to be better. And then our teachers started articulating to me what they needed to do in the classroom. And then my friend Curtis Blue is a colleague of mine. He was like, hip hop has such amazing bandwidth. Unlike a lot of other, not even just, but in comparison to other art forms, you can fit so much into 16 bars.
It's true.
It's different than folk music, you know what I'm saying? You can explain a whole lot, and I do that. And it's like, and it's rapping, and it's using your body to explain the rap, and then a lot of it of hip hop has been about bragging about yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm just realizing my latest work now, and this is breaking down doors for me now, is me getting kids to write raps bragging about themselves and their community. Is the kind of social emotional work that teachers are trying to get kids to do in school, and this is the pathway.
And rap is the universal language.
Rap is the universal language, and the number one thing a rapper does when they introduce themselves, they're like, "This is who I am. I am great."
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I love me, and this is where I come from, and we're great, and they support me, and this is who I am. And I go to third graders, like, that's your job today.
Wow.
You're from this neighborhood. Why are you amazing? Why do people tell you you're great? Why do you feel you're great? And why are you part of your neighborhood? And that's just very basic hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, yeah, we're trying to get kids to feel some kind of sense of themselves and who they are in relation to the world. And like that's exactly what we're doing.
You skilled it. Let me tell you the moment I became a Bomani Armah fan.
That's what's up. Appreciate that.
This is before I knew you. I saw a video where you were having these young men pull up their pants. I thought that was so innovative. And the song name is slipping.
The grown man. Yeah.
And I was like, this is so innovative, and this has been the struggle. This is what my channel is about. Part of it, we're building our kingdom. We're stepping out of Babylon jungle. I'm a family man. You're a family man. I surround myself with family men, and I truly believe that the redemption of the black community starts with the family unit, because I've been on the front line of community organizing for about 20 years plus, and what you notice is that our community has a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
When you start digging into the trauma, and this was explained to me by a sister of mine, that we have two responses, flight or fight, and a lot of our trauma response is flight. So anytime you try to start something, when it gets rocky, everybody scatters. You know what I mean? And that's a trauma response. That's a typical trauma response to deal with a adverse situation. So regardless if we want to or not, we gotta deal with the family situation, because we can't build anything if all these traumatized people are the building blocks for the society that you're trying to build. We always talk about taking over the world.
And the thing we were talking about off camera is like the modern hustle culture is teaching you, like when your family has problems, not to be around those people because they're stopping your money. You know what I'm saying? And that's killing what makes us human.
And so key. So what I wanted to know from you is, how important is the family man part of your brand? Obviously, you're living it.
Right. Appreciate that.
but how important is that to exemplify? You're telling young men to pull up their pants.
Right.
You're doing all of these things. Why?
So, I realized my moniker when I'm working with young people is Baba Bomani.
Yes.
And this also ties into my diction and how that works and how that doesn't work in hip hop, right? Because I'm Baba Bomani, because I come in and introduce myself the way I introduce myself, Baba Bomani is my clever, loving way to tell kids, I'm not one of your little friends. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing blacker than that.
Exactly.
Across
all, I'm not one of your little friends. And so I come in with that. And because I'm not one of your little, I'm not trying to impress them.
Yeah.
I feel like when they hear me, they're like, this sounds like my dad or my granddad's rap. And that's because it's still cool and it's dope. Yeah. But it's like, I'm not, yeah. And when I do it on purpose. Yeah. But they're still intrigued because I'm not kind of like, hey kids, I'm rapping with y'all. Yeah. I'm like, nah, I'm from the hip hop generation. Yeah. This is what rap is. Yeah. You about to sit here and about to hear boom, boom, bap, boom, 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 bap. Yeah. I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. And that's how I come into the room. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm Baba because I come from a community where, as a matter of fact, I am Baba because I come from the Sankofa Homeschool Collective and the Wilson Baker community where you call people Baba. Like when the Wilson Baker kids kept calling me, I was like, you know something? Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I like that distinction. You know what I'm saying? And so I think I have, and so me not talking like a rapper, me being like, no, I'm the grown man here to tell you how to prepare to be grown. Then I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so proud of myself for how authentic I am right now.
When I was young, used to like tear the club up, make a liquor run, be the first with a dub up. If you wanna fight, yo man, it's like what's up? Always chilling with the girls, trying to get some cut up. Fascinated with all types of things, with the nightlife and all the hype it brings, with all the fast cars and all the diamond rings. But I'm a man, so I put it with the childish things. Looking for the devil's pie and the ace-um. I was a child, lucky I ain't make one. After a while, the little games ain't fun. There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. The older you grow, you know life ain't fair. I'm a grown-ass man, I gotta be prepared. The battlefield keeps changing, gotta be aware. Might be a little worried, but I'm never scared. Ladies, I bring them in back, I know you miss us. Talk about our feelings and bro issues. I know you wanna grow up with us, I'm never gonna call no never do delicious. I'ma show the youngest how to act. I'm gonna fight against things that's hold us back. I'm not gonna be the stereotype of being black, cause I'm a grown-ass man too old for that. I feel lucky, cause these youngins are feeling me. But all this little boy hip-hop keeps killing me. So as a grown man, I conduct positive energy, because the gift of gab is a right and a responsibility. Y'all out making some noise, I'm on some making plans. Y'all out
Kids, I'm rapping with y'all. I'm like, nah, I'm from the hip-hop generation.
Yeah.
This is what rap is.
Yeah.
You about to sit here and about to hear boom, boom, bap, boom, 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 bap.
Yeah.
I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. And that's how I come into the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm Baba because I come from a community where, as a matter of fact, I am Baba because I come from the Sankofa Homeschool Collective and the Wilson Baker community where you call people Baba. Like when the Wilson Baker kids kept calling me, I was like, you know something?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that distinction. You know what I'm saying? And so I think I have, and so me not talking like a rapper, me being like, no, I'm the grown man here to tell you how to prepare to be grown. Then I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so proud of myself for how authentic I am right now. Yeah. Whether or not you like it or not, it's completely like really the thing that I am. And that feels good.
I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is ceding everything to youth culture, because youth naturally want to be adults. When we were growing up, we wanted to be what, and I think especially creatives, which, you know, a lot of creatives try to keep up with the teenagers, and you look silly.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up on their level.
Yeah.
When, you know, you can do the big people stuff, and guess what? They're watching you.
They're watching you.
Even if they don't admit it, and they're gonna start to try to emulate you. So what you're saying is perfect in terms of setting the tone, coming in as Baba, and letting, this is how it's gonna go,
right?
And you're gonna fall into my blueprint. Children also are intuitive, and they recognize authority,
right?
They understand where you're shaky,
right?
And they exploit weakness.
And I want to raise the next generation of younger MCs who can authentically relate to this younger generation.
Yes.
But me trying to pretend that I do,
yes,
that would expose me immediately. Immediately. So I don't even front. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, my intro is boom, boom, bap, boom, 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 bap. You know what I'm saying? That's how I come in on you. They're like, oh, you know? Exactly.
It's beautiful. All right, so like I said, get used to Baba Bomani. We're not going to go too much longer. I want you to let them know what you're working on right now, where they can find you, how they can tap into your ecosystem.
Boom.
As creatives, our thing right now is creating these creative ecosystems. I'm telling everyone in my circle, I believe that's the future of the creative industry, is not only signing to a deal like back in the day, but you being your own ecosystem, your own hub, and then preparing, because if the wave comes, if you get another reader book, you want to have all the nets there, so that it washes over your ecosystem. Some people may go to the Baba Got Bar, some people may go to the adult material, some people may want to know what you're doing educational wise, but you have everything set up
ready for them.
Ready for them. And I think for create, and then multiple streams of income as well. So you got a YouTube channel, you got a Patreon, you got all of the different platforms, set up for monetization. So let people know what you're doing right now, how they can tap in.
Sure. So I'm you can find me all over the place on the internet. My latest project is called Baba Bomani's Beatbox Basement. Where you're sitting in now is what I call my beatbox basement. I've been teaching Zoom classes from here for like 3 years now, and like I've completely created my whole radio station vibe happening here. You know what I'm saying? So once again, it's not even like, I don't feel like it's a thing that kids are used to, but I'm introducing them to it. So they're like, oh, I'm going wherever Bob is leading me or whatever, right? As a matter of fact, I'm starting a new thing during the week. I wake up early in the morning. I'm going to do like a 20-minute morning announcements.
Okay.
We do this at school. You know how everybody says the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah. They're like, hey, today lunch is this, and our historical black figure is this, and today we're going to have a great day because this, that, and this. I'm doing that Monday through Friday for like 15 minutes. I've already got this week already figured out.
And then where's that going to be broadcast?
I'm going to broadcast it right now on my Facebook and my YouTube page as it works. I'm going to expand whatever, is it Restream or whatever it is, so that I can broadcast on Twitter, Instagram, everything at once. But I just want to, I want to inspire everybody every morning. And so what I have planned so far is right now, it's just me talking about my album for a moment. And then I want to recognize an ancestor every day. So I found Black Enterprise and a couple websites have a couple of cool places where you can find who was born on this day. And so I've already done that for the week. And if I can't find a famous black person, like I couldn't find somebody for like August 3rd, but August 7th is a Sunday, and I'm not going to do it on the 7th, so I found that person. So I tell you who they are. I find a famous quote for them, and maybe I'll light a candle, but something like that. The vibe that I want to be is like my whole thing is making sure we know who these people are and calling their spirits into a room, and you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. And then also, I'm trying to get better at just highlighting what goes on in the community. Between what goes on at Sankofa, what happens at Bloom Bars, what happens at Joe's Movement, whatever you got going on, I want to let people know where that's happening. So, if you wake up early at 7:30 and you want to see it live, you can. But if not, and I'm also going to hopefully do it live in a way where I can cut it into segments that make sense on the other thing.
And then you can be distributed across.
Exactly. So hopefully, by the time you've done this, hopefully I've done like 4 or 5. I'm supposed to be starting them tomorrow. But you can find me at BomaniArmah.com. That website will take you to all my stuff.
And we'll put that up on the screen.
Yes. If you want to go specifically to what I do as a hip-hop artist for the adults, you can go to notarapper.com, where you can find more information about The Watermelon Man, which is my last album. We're celebrating Watermelon Day this Saturday, August 6th. The Watermelon Man album is all about the red, black, and green, about me trying to create music that is a safe space for black people. And the project that I'm releasing this Saturday is called Baba Bomani's Beatbox Basement. You can find more information about that at babagatbars.com, but you can always just go to the thing you were talking about, the big net, Bomani Armah, go there, and from there you can find everything else. I just got my first shipment of watermelon. I'm going to make sure Kwasi leaves with one today, so he's going to endorse my watermelon and tell people where they can come find it, especially at Watermelon Day. It's seeded. It's from farmers on the Eastern Shore. There's watermelon. I haven't had the time this summer. I spent a lot more time in the last couple summers just being a watermelon monger, I guess, figuring out all the places they came from. I decided to wait for my man who's getting them from Maryland. And Maryland comes a little bit later. I just got those today, and they're delicious.
And for the gentlemen, watermelon is a natural Viagra. So definitely eat your watermelon.
Yes.
Stay vital.
Yes.
Very good for you. Very alkaline food.
Yes. Our ancestors knew what they were doing.
Yes.
There was a reason they were so excited about it. There was a reason they used to have watermelon eating contests, and they had whole economies built up around them perfecting the agricultural practices around this fruit.
Watermelon.
It's
powerful.
It's a powerful thing.
So I want to thank you for this, and again, this is just the beginning. We're gonna go in depth into these past albums because this is my bona fide version. And I tell people my superpower is my network. That is my superpower. So you can see I'm starting to expose you to parts of the network, and I have access. So we will go into your past projects. If you allow us, we'll play some of your music.
Please.
You're going to give me a song. We can tag this episode. We can lead out with one of your songs.
Gotcha. Should we do the practice song? You said that would hit you.
Yes.
I wrote it for the little people, but it hit you. That's what's up.
He has a song about the need for practice. My last episode of LionVoice, the editing was off kilter. Let's be honest.
But you gotta practice.
Episode 29, because I don't know when this is gonna come out. It's off kilter. I just got Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm sharing my process with my fan base as we're evolving on this channel. But the practice song hit me because it's like, wow. But failure is part of the learning process, and you gotta be comfortable with failing. And consistency beats perfection every time.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Consistency beats perfection.
And you get closer to it. It's you know what I've become obsessed with. My boy posted about it recently, and I realized why it is. YouTube. If I let myself get drained into these TikTok, YouTube wormholes, I start following videos of guys like farriers working on horses' hooves, or sheep shearers working on sheep, or wood turners, right? And it's like, what's interesting is someone has done this 1,000 times, and you're watching them wrangle a horse and give it a total, like, and they make it look so easy. Like, no, they've done this. Like, there's something that you respect about them probably having to get kicked, and you know what I'm saying, having a bad back. But as a grown person, you sit there and look at them doing that process, and you can completely respect how they got there.
Mastery is compelling.
Yes.
To witness mastery.
Yeah,
It can be any process.
Anything. You're right.
You know, it's something.
People show millions of views of people showing good window wipers.
Exactly.
Because they figured out how to do it in one thing. They're like, once you figure out the matrix, we all appreciate it. No matter.
We all appreciate it.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect segue because the time has now come for the lions to tell their own story.
Boom.
And this is the LionVoice.
Baba Bomani, BabaGotBars.com. What's up, Mr. Roo?
What up, Baba Bomani?
Man, I'm working on this new song.
Oh, yeah?
It's called Why Do We Practice?
Okay.
Do you mind performing it with me?
Not at all.
Alright, first, we're gonna have to practice. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Why do we practice?
So we can learn the way.
How often do we practice?
We practice every day.
We make mistakes when we practice.
Yeah, that's okay. We get better at what we do at school and at play. So we practice. Yeah, we practice. Keep doing it again until we got this. Yeah, we practice. Oh yeah, we practice. Keep doing it again until we got this. In order to get better, you really gotta do it. Mistakes are okay. I haven't done this rhyme yet, so it's not coming out right.
Relax and don't worry, we're gonna help you through it. Training is important,
You got
something, learn how to walk.
Yeah, you got it.
I made a mistake, but
Don't even worry about it. If you fail and don't succeed, try again.
Why do we practice?
So we can learn the way.
How often do we practice?
We practice every day.
We make mistakes when we practice.
Yeah, that's okay. We get better at what we do at school and at play. So we practice. Yeah, we practice. Keep doing it again until we got this. Yeah, we practice. Oh yeah, we practice. Keep doing it again until we got this. In order to get better, you really gotta do it. Mistakes are a path on the road to improvement.
Challenges make you better, it depends on how you view it. Relax and don't worry,
We're gonna help you through it. Training is important. You should never. Man, I messed up.
Now let's see if we can improve on the next verse.
All right, let's go.
We got this.
If you fail and don't succeed, try again.
Why do we practice?
So we can learn the way.
How often do we practice?
We practice every day.
We make mistakes when we practice.
Yeah, that's okay. We get better at what we do at school and at play. So we practice. Yeah, we practice. Keep doing it again until we got this. Yeah, we practice. Oh yeah, we practice. Keep doing it again until we got this.